welcome back to the Living Room series. We're glad you've joined us. Jerry and I are very blessed to be part of the music team at Unity Spiritual Center in Westlake, and it also feels like a great blessing to share this Living Room series with you, so I hope you are enjoying it as well. Lately, I've been thinking a bit about being fed spiritually, and just like I know it's very obvious when I make choices that are not as healthy and I snack on the wrong things and I don't pay attention to how I'm nourishing my body, I can tell in how I feel and in my energy levels and in even how cloudy my mind is. And it's a little more subtle when you're thinking about feeding yourself spiritually, but it's the same idea. I have the choice of how I'm going to feed myself and what kinds of things am I going to feast on and where am I going to place my attention. So when I choose to focus on that first unity principle, there's only one presence and one power, God. And I make that the foundation, that I'm going to be more energized. My mind will be clearer. I'll be able to be led toward what my next right steps are. So I have the choice to be spirit-led and spirit-fed by my choice of what I'm going to focus on. So we're going to sing that song by Fred Bogert and Sue Krupa Riley, Spirit-Led, Spirit-Fed. Everywhere and always, I am spirit-led. But remember, that's if you choose it. So let's sing that together. Songs that can get stuck in your head, but it just reminds me that I get to choose. If that's not what I'm choosing and I can feel it in my very being, then I can choose again to feed myself with that truth, that knowing of the presence of God everywhere and always. I am spirit-led. And from that knowing then is the awareness of the second unity principle, and that is that I am. So God is, and God created me in God's image and likeness, and I'm good and very good. And so I am the light of God expressing when I know that truth, when I know that God is, and then I remember that I am. And so there's a chant we've done many times before by Robert Anderson. We've not done it quite the way we're going to do it, but I hope it's one that you will just take it in, just allow it to fill your being as we just sing it through over and over. I am as God created me. I am a light in this world. I am as God created me. I am. It's as simple as that. I gotta set up a couple of things here. Are you ready, Jerry?
Yes.
Okay. Got our rhythm going. So I'm going to sing it through once, and as soon as you know it, just take a hold of it and join me. I am as God created me. I am a light in this world. good as a reminder. And when you're playing music and you can feel the music vibrating through your feet, and as we're making this music together, it wells up and it fills my being, and that is so nourishing to me. And that is one of the ways that I allow myself to be led by Spirit and fed by Spirit, is through music. And so that's a great chant to just get into your being. When you remember that you are of God, then you can go out and be that light of God and allow God to express in and through and as you. And then that third unity principle, the power of our minds. Our minds are just so powerful in creating the way that we experience the world, and through our thoughts, through our choices of what we think about, what we decide to focus on, what we decide to allow ourselves to be fed by, whether it's helpful or not helpful, that is what shapes how your life plays out for you. So when you choose love, when you decide on love during these very challenging times that we're all facing, when you make the decision that you're going to choose love, then it's going to play out very differently than if you choose the opposite of that. So there's a great song by Daniel Nahmod, "Love is My Decision." And it's only up to each one of us. No one else can decide for me if I'm going to choose love in any given moment. But the good news is, when I notice that I have not chosen love, I can always choose again. And once I decide to change my mind, as the lyrics in this song says, God will show me how. So love is my decision. Even when I can't always do it, I'm going to choose love. That is going to be my decision. All right, we've done this one a really long time ago, so you may or may not know it, but hopefully it gets into your mind and your heart quickly. Just know that you can choose love. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. You ready, Jerry? But when I'm not feeling that way, I can choose again any moment. It's up to me. No one can do it for me. And so the fourth unity principle is prayer and meditation. And so even when I've done my best to be spiritually fed and I'm feeding my soul, and so my mind and heart and being is centered into that awareness of God, the awareness that I am as God created me, the awareness that I'm choosing love in a given moment. Whether I'm choosing that or whether I'm choosing something else, it ripples out, so that the thoughts that I think that are loving ripple out, just like when you throw a pebble into a pond, it ripples really for long periods of time. Sometimes you don't even know the difference that you make for someone, but the same is true when I choose thoughts or I speak words or utter things that are not of love, that do not build a bridge between me and someone else. That also ripples out through time. And so we wrote a song, Jerry and I wrote. He wrote the music, as always, beautiful music, and I wrote the lyrics. It's called When I Pray, but it's just my reminder that every thought I think is a prayer. And sometimes the thoughts that I think are not very prayerful, not very loving, but they still ripple out through time. And so I'm going to speak through this, and then we'll sing it, and then I'll speak through the second verse, and then we'll sing it. But this is just to settle us into a quiet moment, a little pause to remind ourselves that we're always praying, and so choosing thoughts that are of God. All right. So take a deep breath. So every thought that I think is a prayer. And every word that I utter just sends out a ripple out through time, no ending to it. And so I take a moment, I quiet my mind, and I listen as deeply inside as I can, so that God is the only voice I hear. Let's try that one. Every thought that I think is a prayer. Every word that I utter sends a ripple out through time. So I quiet my mind and I listen deep inside, so that God is the only voice I hear. And then from that still small voice that I have found deep inside, that is God, comes a peace that I carry as that ripples out through time with no ending. All my words are a part of the truth of who I am. Every word that I utter is a prayer. From that still small voice deep inside comes a peace that I carry as it ripples out through time. All my words are a part of the truth of who I am. Every word that I utter is a prayer. So take another deep breath and continue to quiet your mind for just a moment, so that you can find that still small voice that's God once we let go of everything in the outer. And I allow that awareness of God to fill my being. And so I just rest for a moment in that quiet space where I find God. into the world and let it ripple out through my life. From that peace, my thoughts, my words, my actions come from that deep knowing of who I am. And when I take these moments, these short pauses to nourish my being, my soul, to be fed by Spirit, then I am ready to be the peace, to be the change. And I'm so grateful to know who I am. Thank you, God. Amen. And so, of course, that always brings us to the practice of these truths that we know, that the fifth unity principle. We have to take it back out into the world from that still small place inside, that deep knowing. We have to take that out into the world and allow our thoughts and words and actions to come from that place. And we will be clear what is ours to do. Every Sunday at Unity Spiritual Center, we close our service by singing "Let There Be Peace on Earth" and "Let It Begin With Me." And this is a song that was written by Cy Miller and Jill Jackson. They were a husband and wife songwriting team, and they wrote this song in 1955 about their dream of peace for the world and how they believed that each one of us could help create that peace. And it is still as relevant today as it was back then. But they took the song at the very beginning and introduced it to a group of teenagers from their various high schools and that were attending a week-long workshop. And these young people were all from different religions, different racial backgrounds, different cultures and economic backgrounds. And they brought everyone together to experiment with the idea of creating understanding and friendship among people through education, through discussion groups, through working together and living together in a camp situation. And Cy Miller wrote in his own words what happened. He said, "One summer evening in 1955, a group of 180 teenagers of all races and religions, meeting at a workshop high in the California mountains, locked arms, formed a circle, and sang a song of peace. They felt that singing the song with its simple basic sentiment, 'Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me,' helped to create a climate for world peace and understanding." And so when they came down from that mountain experience, these inspired young people took that song, and then that just spread out. It kind of went around the globe. It came back first to their homes and their schools and their churches and their own clubs, and soon it became something that was shared across the U.S. at graduations. It became the celebration of Brotherhood Week. It was a theme for Veterans Day, Human Rights Day, United Nations Day. It just went on, and it's been recorded all over the world by really many well-known famous artists that have performed the song over the years. And again, we sing it every Sunday at Unity Spiritual Center in Westlake. You can check out our website, unityspiritualcenter.com, and watch our services via live stream every Sunday at 11, or check out some of our other programs. But this focus on choosing, making love your decision, centering in on who you really are, and allowing God to express as you, as that peace. This is what we're about at Unity Spiritual Center. So I want to close this evening with a song. I had this idea to combine two totally different songs, but they're saying a similar thing. One of them is called "Weave" by Rosemary Crow. The song is talking about weave us together in unity and love, and it's reminding us that we are like a tapestry. We're different textures and different colors, but yet we're entwined together. And in the same way as instruments, we're different instruments playing in the same symphony, but each person is tuning to their own key and providing their own melody. So I decided I was going to, we'll see how this goes, but Jerry's going to play one of the songs, and I'm going to play the other one. I'm going to sing both of them, but it's going to combine two songs in the same way that we have to combine with our differences until we're blended into one, which is what we truly are. We are one in spirit. So I'm going to combine Let There Be Peace with the song Weave, and we'll see how this goes. All right, are you ready, Jerry?
Yes.
Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, together. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. We are many textures, we are many colors, each one different from the other, but we are entwined with one another in one great tapestry, with God as our Father. Brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. We are different instruments playing our own melodies, each one tuning to a different key, but we are all playing in harmony in one great symphony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. A moment ago, still we did not know our unity, only diversity. Now the Christ in me greets the Christ in thee, with one great family, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, together. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And so just like trying to take two totally different songs and weave them together, it can be done. We can make a difference. We can be the light of God expressing. So I hope that you have been inspired here and have come away with some ideas of how that might play out for you. Make love your decision. Let God shine God's light in and through and as you. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.